Hello, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, hello for the first time. I'm Carla, I'm an eBay reseller from Bristol in the southwest of England in the UK. This is my second bullet journaling video. Very amateur at this, as I said in my first one. Don't really know what I'm doing, but I'm having fun playing around with the colours, and it's a useful way of making a to-do list and a diary and a planner all in one for me. What you're going to see next are some speeded up bits of me doing some of my pages, and at the end we're going to do a flip through of how my September pages worked for me and what I've actually completed for my November pages. So buckle up and I'll see you at the other side. Bye! So it is time for a flip through of how September went for me, whether I used my September pages the way I wanted them to, whether I would bother to use them again. And then I'm going to show you my November pages, which I've completed now, and I'm having to stop myself doing the December ones. So my September cover page, which I know you've seen these pages before, I'm just going to very quickly run through how they worked. My bookshelf worked really, really well. I filled that one up completely for September. Very pleased with that. I did find that having the bookshelf there made me want to read more. So I'd fallen into a bad habit of getting into bed at night and put the telly on and then falling asleep with the telly on, waking up at 2 AM, turning the telly off, you know. And I found that I wasn't reading as much. And I like reading, and I think, it's better for your brain, really. So having the bookshelf actually made me want to read more books so that I could put more books in there. So I think that worked really, really well. I've done 3 Pratchett's in the month. I'm rereading Pratchett. Every time I get to the end of Pratchett, I start again at the beginning. So I will read Pratchett continually for the rest of my life, basically. Yeah, so my bookshelf worked really well. Really pleased with that. Sorry for the rambling. What we have discovered is that I don't watch very many films, so the only film that I watched in the entire month of September was Ghostbusters. So I've decided this is not going to be just a monthly page. I'll just carry on putting these on, so that's why I put the date on. So when I do watch a film, I'll fill it in there. I've watched a bit of telly, but just not films. As before, I've covered up a couple of things that are personal and private, but there's my monthly overview. I'm in two minds about whether I need a monthly overview page, because I'm doing weekly spreads as well. I'm not entirely sure that I need one of these, so I may at some point stop doing these. My listings challenge went quite well for September. It fell apart after Hitchin, really. I got back from Hitchin, I'd missed a couple of days, I never really got my head back in the game. Hitchin was about here, and although I did do some more after that, I didn't quite hit my target for the month. However, the target was 280, and as you can see, I did over 200. So not really a bad achievement for the month. My cruise savings went well. I filled up my entire ship and put a puff of smoke in there at the top to say that I'd completed it. Again, funny little incentive. You would think a grown woman would not need a little colouring incentive to help her save money, but it did help. I hated the feather. I don't know if you remember the mood feather. You can just about see it through the back there. I hated it. And I hated it even more once I started colouring it in. I had ordered a big pack of Crayola Super Tips, which are really good for using in a Lurch term bullet journal because they don't bleed through. I'd ordered them from Amazon, but there was some kind of problem with my Amazon delivery, and although they were on Prime and should have come the next day, they took nearly 2 weeks to arrive. So Natalie had a few Crayolas in her bedroom that she gave me, and I just decided I would use those to fill in the mood feather. But they were just random colours. They weren't colours that were chosen because they would go well together. They didn't look particularly nice on the page. The fact that I already didn't like the feather meant that once I started colouring it in these random colours that I also didn't like, I just hated it more and more. So about halfway through the month, I decided I couldn't live with it anymore. I drew this leaf out onto thicker paper and just stuck that on the top, recoloured the ones that I'd already done, and I'm much happier with this. So I think the lesson from it is if you don't like something, just change it. You don't have to live with your mistakes. My weekly spreads worked very well. Again, a few things covered up that are personal and private. I plainly do not follow the Slim World plan because none of those are successful. All those black dots mean that I didn't. But yeah, the weekly spreads worked okay. I used those. I used them very much as a to-do list a lot of the time, and found that quite a good incentive. Tracking my earnings was quite useful down there. I also started doing on a Wednesday a YouTube tracker, so I think is that the first one? The previous week's the first one, just to see if I get any YouTube growth. I'm not particularly trying to grow my YouTube channel. I use my YouTube channel as a opportunity to socialise really with people who also do reselling, and just to share stuff that I find interesting. So I'm not really that bothered about growing it, but it's interesting to see if it is growing. Or if I put out a video and see that suddenly I've lost 400 subscribers, I'll know that I've said the wrong thing somewhere. It is growing very slightly. I started 1546. By the following Wednesday it was 1571. And you'll see later on it's still growing a bit more. Sorry, I just hit the camera, so that made a wobble. My habit tracker, although it went well from the point of view of I did complete it every day, showed me that I'm not doing the things that I want to do. Certainly did not achieve the no spend days. There's just one no spend day that I managed. This one here, which is another personal private one, not too bad. About 50% of the month I managed to do that. The exercise didn't go so well. The 15 minutes of intensive cleaning each day didn't go so well. The £50 sales, I just tracked every time I had a £50 day, so I didn't sort of fail on these 3 as such. I just wrote boxes in, and I've changed that for the next month. Obviously, having more than £50 sales a day is not something I can control on eBay. You have up days and you have down days, but I just thought it would be interesting to track it and see how it had gone. This page went very, very well. This is my attitude of gratitude page. Every day I wrote in something that I was grateful for that day, and I was really pleased with that. And also I think that will be a nice memory to go back through and look at and remember what made me happy on various days. And again, I think it's a positive thing to at some point each day go, okay, well, even though perhaps I feel tired, perhaps I feel stressed, perhaps I feel like I've had a fairly rubbish day, there must be something about this day that was good. And nearly every day there's something that you can write in there. I've fastened these ones together because these are the October pages. Currently using those, and I'll do a flip through of those the next time I do a video. But I did just cut to the end. I put in a birthday page. I don't think you guys saw this one before. You may have done. The birthday page and the quote page. I've put in a new bookshelf. Now, although it sits in October, it won't necessarily be just for October. But I am going away on holiday, so I get a lot more reading done while I'm on holiday. So I may well fill it up, and that's why I've done a double page spread. If they have the little headphones above, that means an audiobook, and I am reliving my childhood by listening to the famous 5 on YouTube. So put my quotes in there. This one is J.K. Rowling. So yeah, pleased with that page. And then I've added a Goodbye October page, and into these I'll just put some happy memories of October. So just to, again, for something to look back on at the end of the month to see what made me happy, really. And this then is into my November. So you've seen some of these pages in production, as it were. I didn't film all the pages. Some of them I thought I was filming and discovered I hadn't pressed record on the camera. Some of them I simply forgot to film. Some of them I did them so late at night that the lighting was just not reasonable for filming. So although I filmed a few for you guys, they're not all filmed, so some of them will be a surprise to you. So there's my November cover page. I went for a rain and wellies theme, really. A rainy days theme for November. And this is my November monthly spread. Stuck to the same colours as well to go through to give it a cohesive appearance, apparently is the phrase you're meant to use. This page was a nightmare. It took me ages and ages to get the angles right. I don't know why. It will be a rainbow when it's filled in. It took me forever to get the angles right. I went through the page with the point of the compass, and afterwards I discovered that it had it bled so badly through that I had to redo this page and stick it back on top because this page was absolutely wrecked. So, and then there's a sticker at the top because I managed to mess up the quote at the top as well. So this is my gratitude page, and it just says gratitude teaches us to appreciate the rainbow and the storm, and these will be filled in rainbow colours. The little pencil letters that you might be able to see are just to remind me which colour will go where when I fill them in. I'm not sure whether I'm going to do the writing in that colour because I have a full set of the coloured eyeliners, or whether I'm going to do the writing in black and just shade it in. If I was going to shade it in, I could go ahead and do that now. Still haven't quite decided. My pineapple cruise savings tracker, I'm really pleased with that. When I started to draw this, I was like, this is going to be so difficult. Actually, pineapples turned out to be the easiest thing in the world to draw. So each of the little pineapple spikes represents £5, and I will fill them in 5, 10, 15, 20 and so on and so forth until I get to the £150. These are, yeah, the little L's are the points on the pineapple, which I hope will look less conspicuous when they're coloured in, because they just look like I've drawn a lot of L's. Anyway, I'm really pleased with that. Very, very pleased with that. Starting to feel like an artist. And then you could not have a November bullet journal theme about rain without putting in a Guns N' Roses quote. It just couldn't. So this is a quote from my absolute favourite ever song, which is November Rain by Guns N' Roses. And I'm not going to sing it, but I'm really pleased with how that came out. I just did a silhouette of Slash simply by printing it from Google Images and then tracing round and then blocking it in the black, which was really, really easy to do. My mood tracker is raindrops. I haven't decided yet whether to put the numbers in for the days, and raindrops falling onto an umbrella, and then I'll colour them in for the appropriate mood that day. Smudged a bit from Slash there, but you can't have everything. These pages are stuck together again because it's the same problem I had with the gratitude page, is that I used the same pen for the raindrops and it bled through. So I've had to stick another page on top to cover up the bleed through. That's my November listings challenge, and I've stuck to exactly the same format as I've done for the October one because I prefer it to the original September one. I'm enjoying the October one more. I've put myself on for a maximum of 20 per day. I think it's very, very rare that I'll do more than 20 in a day. Very, very rare that I manage more than 10, if I'm honest. And then we're into the weekly spread. So there's my November week 1. It's only half a week because November starts on a Thursday and I want each week to end on the Sunday. So half a week there. And my little quote that says, without rain, nothing grows. Learn to embrace the storms of your life. Week 2. Really pleased with this little drawing. Again, these are only copied from Google. I cannot draw. If you said to me out of your head, draw a duck, it would look nothing like a duck. But I can copy. So, yeah, so they're just copied from Google. And again, there's where that page is stuck down because it bled through. What was it that bled through that time? Again, I used the same pen by mistake. See the boxes and they all bled through. I have discovered that just sticking an extra page in solves the problem, although I do need to go back and sort out the little page numbers. Just here, that now goes from page 52, 53, 244, 55. So that needs dealing with. November week 3 is a much more simplistic one. All of these, as I've said before, are pinched off of Google. So if these are your original ideas and you would like the credit, please do come and tell me so. But by the time I've followed links through Pinterest or wherever, I've quite often forgotten who the original idea came from. November week 4 and November week 5, which is actually only 5 days because November will end on Friday. So I put a little coming up thing in there just to fill in the space. And there's my little earnings bit there. And then the last one is my habit tracker. You've seen this in process, so I don't need to go through this one with you again. Covered up the private one there. And that's it for my November pages. I may well do a Goodbye November page if the Goodbye October one works well. And then hopefully December will start there. So there we go. Whole blank pages full of promise, full of opportunity. And I'm desperately trying not to start the December pages yet because I'm in danger of getting too far ahead. This way I'll be doing next June and we'll still be in this year. I hope you've enjoyed this video. And if you have, give it a thumbs up. I will do more bullet journal videos if people like them. Like I said, as I've said before, I'm very amateur at this. I'm no great artist. There are certainly people with much better skills than me, but I am enjoying doing it. And if anybody else is encouraged by seeing somebody bumbling through and still enjoying what they're doing, then that can only be a good thing. Thanks for watching. Take care. Speak to you soon. Bye bye.